Join me every Tuesday for fun and games and play for cash. That's right. Sylvia Mid, the fun word guessing game is back and you can come aboard and play. It's simple. Just email us your name and contact information and you are in there, baby. Yeah.
Hey, this Smooth Tim and Larry E, and welcome to another hump day on Tim's Tid-Bits show. How you doing, Larry?
What's up, man? We good? I kind of dressed down a little bit. I ain't got my fancy shirt on.
Yeah, I'm dressed down a little bit too. I got my casual gear on, so that we can discuss things casually tonight. How about that?
Right.
That's the whole atmosphere that we're trying to create for our viewing audience, our listening audience, whatever you might be. So, hey, it's going to be a casual hump day with Smooth Tim and Larry E.
We changing it. Forget casual Friday. We be going casual Wednesday when we can remember what day it is. Half the time we always mess up.
Oh, yeah, it's either going to be a Tuesday or a Thursday or a Friday. We have no idea, depending on how much we had before we started the show.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, let's see. What are we going to get into talking to tonight? Oh, geez. DeSantis versus Disney. I don't know if you...
Yeah, it's a good one.
I don't even know if you heard this, but I mean, he's had a real hard-on for Disney since, they objected to, some of the woke policies of the government down there. And they're like, we can't discriminate against gays. And I mean, whatever, and take them out of our films and what character and all this garbage, right? Anyhow, here's the new ploy that is happening down south in the great state of Florida.
Defending his plan to change the way Disney does business in Florida. Republicans in Tallahassee are proposing new board members to govern the area where Disney operates its theme parks. The board would replace the Reedy Creek Improvement District. Fox 13's Evan Axelbank is in the newsroom with the proposal and the criticism it's receiving. Evan?
Linda, the name of the new district wouldn't be something that Disney could win an Academy Award with. It would be called the Central Florida Tourism Oversight District. But the governor says those 5 words are the way to get Disney to pay its debt.
Far from the rides, Mickey, and cotton candy, the governor pledged it would be a new day at Disney.
There's a new sheriff in town, and that's just the way it's going to be.
A bill proposed by Republicans would keep the special taxing district in place, but give it a new name and create a 5-person board whose members would all be appointed by the governor. The governor insists this is a way to more closely monitor the district without taxpayers taking on Disney's financial obligations. He spoke during a press conference in Ocala.
They're not going to have their own government. Disney is going to pay its fair share of taxes, and Disney's going to honor the debt.
But Florida Democrats point out this all came up because Disney criticized new rules on how sexual orientation is discussed in public schools between kindergarten and 3rd grades. They say this bill effectively makes Disney's district a political pawn for the governor.
It doesn't actually do anything to curb back any of Disney's special perks, let alone close corporate tax loopholes.
Orlando State Rep Anna Escamani filed an amendment that would place the mayors of Orange County, Orlando, and Kissimmee on the board, along with the chair of the Osceola County Commission. She does acknowledge her proposal has little chance of passing.
So he wants to, basically control Disney with his own little government in there.
He is the governor. And okay, I'm kind of confused though. So they're not paying taxes.
Oh yeah. Sure they do. Sure, yeah. Disney pays their fair share of taxes, basically. But they do kind of have their own water system. They have their own fire department. They have their own police. In that area. So I don't get why they have a problem with it. But anyhow, yeah, they do, and especially since they spoke out, against the way that DeSantis has a position on, transgenders and the LGBT community in general, I would suspect.
So basically, Santos don't like the transgenders. And Disney saying that that's okay. You should leave them alone or whatever. Basically, am I right about that?
I don't know that he dislikes transgenders. He just doesn't like the information being available and thinks it's inappropriate to be accessible for, younger children and or somehow be depicted in a Disney character.
Okay, yeah. Okay, well, I can understand that. I support him. Like we already talked about this. Just let kids be kids. Don't try to force on your own agenda on these kids. Let them be kids. Let them grow up. Let them make their own decisions. Let them become teenagers and get on their own as adults. And then they can go ahead and be transgender and they can be bisexual, heterosexual. They can do whatever they want to do. But let these kids, leave them alone. You don't want to force racism on them. You want to force intolerance and how can I say knowledge on them. Yeah, I believe that you should change the curriculum of what you teach them in school, but that's not something that they need to know. That's just going to confuse them. So I agree with him. And Disney needs to just mind Disney's own business because it is what it is. If don't poke the bear, in other words. Don't poke the bear.
Okay. So you can respect his position.
Well, the thing he's doing is retaliating. So I don't respect that. I respect the fact that he wants to keep propaganda like that out of school amongst our youngsters. And I agree with that because I'm like, if you're going to put that in there, why don't you teach law? Once you start teaching Black history, Irish history, Asian history, once you start teaching real economics, once you start teaching some real life things, once you start teaching how these people are depressed, these people are being held back, these people are on a high level, these people are economically how can I say dealing with economics where they can't move forward and get better jobs and better places to stay. Well, if you ain't gonna teach that, why would you want to bring that into school? I think it's fair. If you're gonna be fair, teach some real stuff. Nobody want to care about who. Listen, transgender is something you decide to do. Okay, at the end of the day, it's something you decide to do. You want to be transgender, but you don't force that on kids. It doesn't belong in school. It's not going to change your life. Why would you want to teach that anyway? When you got other things you can teach.
I don't think it's necessary to be taught in school.
No, I'm like, why?
No, that kind of stuff. No. That
you need to teach some real stuff that these kids can use for them to be, how can I say, better citizens. Once they know better, teach them stuff that they can do better once they know better. Don't even teach them about transgender and homosexuality, and they're learning that heterosexuality. If they got a mother and father, they're learning that mothers and fathers coincide together to raise kids. That's what they're learning, the ones they know, the ones that have mothers and fathers. So they're learning that. Now, why would you want to bring all this other extra stuff in there, which is not going to improve their knowledge and their intelligence to have them move forward as people and change the world? So it's stupid. Teach them some real stuff in school. Who cares about that?
Yeah, I believe we kind of talked about that before, didn't we? That
I'm like, why would
we've touched on.
Teach kids that?
I don't remember ever having that type of a curriculum in schools, and I'm still tolerant of and was tolerant during school of people that had gay, homosexual tendencies, whatever, or wanted to cross dress, whatever the hell you want to call it.
And when we saw it, we didn't care. We didn't care. The craziest thing we saw when I was in school and I was younger is one guy, this white dude, had 2 earrings in his ear. Usually it was just 1 earring, but he had 2 earrings, and everybody was like, "Oh!" We were shocked, but you realize it was a player thing. It was, it wasn't that he was wanted to be a female. He just rocking a new style.
Checking a new style.
We didn't care. Who cares?
Well, apparently some people do.
I don't know. I guess I don't know people that do. I guess I'm too regular.
You think that's what the problem is?
Yeah,
too much of a regular guy, or just too much of a regular guys.
Yeah, I'm like, because it doesn't matter. It doesn't change anything. Like, it's your personal preference. Don't be putting that on these kids, man. They got enough to worry about.
So
he's retaliating anyway, though. Okay.
Anyhow, we had a bit of a video lag, but could still hear the content of the last video. But let's see what the hell's going on. Google introduced some new, that's still backwards, AI, artificial intelligence that you're supposed to be able to talk to, and it would respond, ask you some questions, and apparently it was a big, huge failure. So check it out, see if we can get this.
Google's new, highly touted AI Bard has already made a boo-boo. By Google that ran in the company's Twitter feed. In the tweet, Google described.
Anyhow, no, that thing decided to crash and burn.
We must have got our video from Google.
We got our video from Google. Anyhow, what we'll do, instead of playing videos, we'll just talk about the stuff tonight, because we'll know how we pretty much caught some of the stuff on the world news. But in any regards, Google came out with this new AI, and you talk to it, and you could set, how far is it to the core of the Earth, and it'll come up with just some BS, and maybe even some unrelated material along with its, response to you, and they're like, yeah, we don't know why this is happening. And Microsoft, is having the same issue. So,
and we already asked Google or asked Siri questions and stuff like that already. Can we do that already?
Yeah, I've never had. Do you have like an Alexa or a Siri? Do you have anything like that? I don't
something like that. Yeah,
I don't have anything like that, and I don't use it. But
you got wives, and you got a wife for. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, listen, if you need to talk on the phone that much, it ain't like it's Encyclopedia Britannica like it was back in the day. I'm like, you can just look it up, and then if you really want to know some real pertinent information about the Earth core, you don't want to get it from Google. You know what I'm saying? You want to get a real reliable source. There's really other sources to use other than Google.
Yeah, like Wikipedia.
You're right, exactly. Or get one of your drunk uncles or something, or one of your egghead cousins or uncles or aunties that know every damn thing. Get somebody out there.
I find this interesting, and apparently, they had a little bit of a plumage in their shareholding stock, because apparently, a lot of people are putting their what would you say, invested in this nest egg that all of a sudden is seems to be a failure. So, who knows? I think they do, and we've talked about this also so many times on the show about these damn robots, this artificial intelligence, self-driving cars, all this BS.
Nah, you wasting. That's why they call it an investment, because you can't get your money back, and you're investing into hope or a dream that it's going to make a lot of money. So I wouldn't invest in anything technical right now. I'm like, if I can't feel it and hold it and touch it, if I know it's not there physically, I'm not going to invest into it. I'm not going to invest into no artificial intelligence, knowing that it's not even fully developed. And plus, who developed it? What countries? What people? Because we already know who the people are when it comes to creating technology. We already know that. But when you start trying to push technology out real fast before it's even experiment with it like it should be, you start having issues, and that's what happened. They're getting greedy. They're getting greedy, man.
Unbelievable.
I feel sorry for investors because they got took.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, and let's go back to Twitter, and then I seen on the news tonight that probably by the end of this month, Musk is going to retire as CEO. But anyhow,
he's going to retire as CEO for his company.
Yeah, as CEO of the company. You know, but look at all the damage he's already done.
That dude just did that. Man, that's so dumb. You know what? It's social media.
But you're right. I mean, I would not, investing in technology is dangerous. And look, just like cryptocurrency and shit.
You can invest all you want because you're not investing in technology itself. You're investing in the person that's creating the technology and the person that's keeping the technology running. If you want to invest in the person, invest in yourself. Don't invest in somebody else that's creating some technology that they want you to follow that you're going to use, because people still run the technology. People still program the computers. And you invest in money, you invested in someone else. Regardless of what you invest in, you invested into another individual. So that's what investments are.
Yeah,
you never lose money.
I wondered how people are comfortable. You know, now you start thinking into this digital world where they're buying these. Doggone it, I forget the term. Where they can buy these digital paintings. I know
what you're talking about. We talked about that too, then, didn't we?
You know, and digital buildings, and I mean, and it's such a
yeah. I remember that. I can't see.
How are you comfortable with that?
I think psychologically, you have to be in another space that you're so unhappy with your life or the way that Earth is. You need something to take you away other than
the
drugs
metaverse.
And alcohol.
You need to escape to the metaverse.
Metaverse. So now you're using the metaverse plus all the other things you're using to destroy yourself. Now you're adding the metaverse in. I think it's stupid. Now you're wasting money and making a very bad investment, very bad decision on top of the other ones you made just because you're tired of being human. You stuck with us, people. Stop trying to not be human. You're still human.
It's very interesting how people, entrepreneurs, think, how can I make money out of this? Well, you know what?
They smart though. They're smart. They got. What's the saying go? Just the food born every day? Is that the saying, or how's it say? Is it saying like that?
Food born every day, yeah.
It's a saying that basically is saying that every day is some idiot that's willing to waste their money and waste their time just because you gave them a good idea for you to make money. There's always somebody standing in line to say, here, I agree with you, without even doing the research. People are just, and I made some, no, I ain't never made no investments like that. I'm just saying some people on this earth are willing to just be fools over and over and over again.
I've never made any investment like that on some type of online thing.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's stupid, but some people are foolish enough to do that and fall for it. I'm like, why? If you can't touch it, feel it, or see it, pond it, sell it, at least something you can pund. I'm like,
I even look how they get you even on these little games that's on your phone, right?
I only play the free ones.
No, but you can get a better character, or you could upgrade, get, for this, and you're like, it's amazing.
I'm not saying I don't indulge in the metaverse or the stuff like that, because I do. All I'm saying is I'm not going to pay money to be part of your investment like that. I'm not going to pay money for it. I do the free stuff. Whatever character you get, my character can look just like you. I'm like, man, well, I guess I'll be white today,
Got to be white and get my ass kicked.
He can look Hispanic or Asian. I guess I'd be Asian. He free. Ain't finna pay for no bald head black dude. Pay $3.99.
Yeah, I'm trying to get past. I'm still working with the free little Eskimo guy.
Yeah, the characters. It's even
I'll
funny.
upgrade him soon, man. Come on.
Yeah, you can create your own character, but it still don't look like you. Like, man, damn, they don't look like it be fucking free.
Anyhow.
People are stupid.
Let's move on a second to Pharmacists' Rights. And this is what happened. Apparently, this woman was raising a big stink about this. She took a prescription for a particular ailment to a pharmacy, but the pharmacist refused to fill the prescription because that prescription is also utilized by some doctors for the as an abortion pill.
Ooh.
Okay. So, the pharmacist says, number one, I don't believe in abortion, right? And secondly, I could be liable because of the way state laws are, right? That the pharmacist and anybody that knows about all these, BS. So it's interesting what do you think? Was the pharmacist right? Do you think a pharmacist should say, no, I'm not going to fill this because of X, Y, Z, because you're on this medication and this could be a conflict. This medication is used for this and I don't believe, ethically, I don't believe in that. Go get it somewhere else. Is that okay?
No, well, I'm telling you, if I walk into like a McDonald's wearing a Black Lives Matter shirt, when I try to order my burger, I'm not coming in there to ask the opinion of the person that's looking at my shirt. They say, hey, well, all lives matter. I'm like, I don't care. I want a hamburger. Okay. I didn't come here for your opinion. I came here to get my hamburger. That person came there to get their medicine. They didn't come here for their personal opinion of what you feel or what. Now, if the state allows that medicine to be made and be presented to the pharmacy, then that pharmacist should still give that person their medicine, regardless of what they think and how they feel. It's stupid.
But what?
I'm like, it's not their job.
But what if his particular point is correct and he would have a degree of liability if that was utilized for an abortion purpose when the state law says no?
No, but he works for the pharmacy, so how is he liable?
He provided the means.
Why?
How would a doctor be liable because he's got the scalpel? How would the pharmacist be liable because he provided he provided the abortion pill? How is one different from the other?
The company is liable for having it there to be passed out. He's doing his job. His liability, it's not his LLC. His job is to fill the prescription and give it to you.
I wouldn't do it. Personally, I agree with, and let's go back to what you just said. You said DeSantis was 100% okay with his opinion on LBGTs. Now let's come back to this pharmacist, and you're saying now it's not okay. Which is it, Larry?
No, I said he's.
Are we allowed to have an opinion or not?
No, he's not. He's not. It's not opinion. He just says that it's not right. That is not right. I agree with the kid aspect of it. Okay, all I'm saying is we're dealing with adults. If this adult says I need these pills and doctor prescribed them, that adult has to give it to him. Now, had it been a kid or a teenager, somebody that's ignorant or dumb or whatever, someone that's underage, yeah. Or someone that's blind, crippled, crazy or something, yes, I can understand that. If they come in drunk as hell and you know damn well you ain't supposed to give it to them, yeah. But if they're the same mind, body, and soul, and that's what they're supposed to get, it's supposed to get it. But that's the pharmacist is working under the insurance of the company he works for. That is not his personal business. That's not his or her LLC. So they are not liable.
So what in the instance that it's in conflict that it could cause you to have a heart attack and or some other type of serious medical condition because it's in conflict with another medication. So he's not going to do it.
No, well, Tim, we can talk about food in general. These foods that we eat, if they don't.
No, we're talking about this pharmacist right now. I'm not talking about food. It's in conflict, and he's got it in front of him. He says, "I'm not going to do this, Larry. This could cause you to have a heart attack taking these two medications together."
But what can't cause you to have a heart attack? Anything could. Anything we do is dangerous. I'm like, but is that his job to determine who gets what medicine? Is that his job?
I believe that he's an advisor, and if he doesn't want to accept liability because he's advised you that could be a complication, that's his right to say, screw you, I'm not giving it to you.
No, it's that person's right too to say, give me my medicine. If I want to have a heart attack, then I want to have a damn heart attack.
See, I look at times when we totally disagree.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Because we're on complete opposite sides of this one.
Real, man. I'm just like, he doesn't have the right to just say no. If that person came and demanded that medicine without a prescription, yes, he has a right to say no. He shouldn't get that medicine. But if I need this, and the doctor said I can have it, that's on the doctor. Period.
Prescription or not, if I saw that it was in conflict with another medication and I thought it could cause another serious complication, I would refuse to fill it for you. However,
Tim, you'd be wrong. You would be wrong.
I'm wrong. Well, then do whatever. Go to another pharmacy. I don't give a damn.
You'll be wrong. And if you did me,
but the other moral standpoint, where I'm not going to give it to you because of this or that, when your physician prescribed it for leg pain, even though it could be used for this, the intent of the physician and the intent of the distribution was for your leg pain.
Right.
Then I'm okay with that. I think sometimes, moral values can.
Well, what if it's still the cause of heart?
From the other part, if I see something that could be a complication to you physically, mentally, because of the mixture of drugs, no, I'm not. I'm going to take care of my patient. You're my patient too. That's how I would feel as a pharmacist. That's why they go to school, 6 years? So they know this stuff.
Yeah,
a doctor takes pharmaceutical in school for 6 months? A pharmacist goes to school for 6 years. So who do you think knows more about drugs?
I know a doctor gets paid more. So
I ask you, who you think knows more about drugs?
About drugs in general, about medicine, practicing medicine.
About drugs and how they affect people.
You're right on that, but I still don't agree. I think you should give them the medicine.
Okay. Moving on. Let's stop disagreeing for a minute.
I agree with you on this. Now, you should let them know, and then maybe tell them to call their doctor, and then go from there, take it to a manager or whatever before you do it.
You might want to rethink it. Okay.
You still should. Until I ain't backtracking. I'm just saying, I still think you're wrong. You should give them the medicine. They should get their medicine.
I tell them, okay, well, I tell them exactly where I said, move down to Larry's pharmacy. He'll fill that up for you, no problem. Right now, I'll send you some business, man. No worries.
They can make my job hard. No, you ain't getting this. Call corporate. They call Larry to get my medicine.
Did you check out the news? Did you see on number 4 there at Michigan State University?
Another one, yes.
And
you got some video on it? You want to try to run it real quick?
No, let's not. I think most of the people, and if they haven't, they can get online and just Google the MSU shooting. I mean, my God, he walked into a classroom, 2 different classrooms, and shot up kids. And then they got him on video walking around campus and shit. And apparently there's really no reason, no motivation, no association, the police are baffled on why. Because he killed himself, so he's not going to get an answer, from his.
Dead man tell no tales. Mental health issues, bro.
Wouldn't you think, he just for whatever.
Tim, that guy probably wanted to die anyway. He decided to take some people down with him. And you know what I've noticed too, when they have those mass shootings? When those people do mass shootings, there's something, when they shoot the people or kill whoever they do, there's something attached to why they killed them. Something. Could be a guy has a problem with churches. It could be a guy don't like Asians, or this person don't like blacks, or this person don't like whites, or this person went to that school and was abused, or this person went to a concert and something happened at a concert, not the particular concert. It's always some kind of psychological or mental attachment to why they did it. Now, it's wrong, okay, but it's always something it's always a storyline in between it that ties them both together. Do you ever notice that?
Sometimes I wonder, just like that, I think about how many, it's just been ridiculous since, Columbine to Las Vegas when they shot into that crowd at that big concert,
all of them.
All this shit. And it's like, I'm obviously I wonder how these people get the guns, and how do they get these high capacity semi-automatics that can easily be made into fully automatic weapons or assault weapons, and why do you need that in the first place? We've discussed this. I mean,
thousands of times on the show.
When's enough?
And to my society, it's really under a lot of pressure, a lot of stress. Everybody on a daily basis, whether you or I or him or her or whatever, everybody's under a lot of stress. And there's no mentally, a lot of people can't deal with their stress well. Mentally, some people smoke weed, some people drink alcohol, some people do all kinds of crazy things, but sometimes some people just want to take it to the extreme and use a gun because of mental health issues and because of the stress of life. Life has gotten harder for everybody. I don't care whether you're young or old or black or white or whatever you are. I always use black or white because in America, it's always a battle between us in America. But life is hard for everybody.
I mean, what happened over in Britain? Didn't somebody just drive a car down and that was...
I saw that. It was a guy that did the U-Haul. You see that one?
Yeah.
He drove the U-Haul down the sidewalk and just Asian guy. I was like, what the heck?
It's the same type of shit, Larry. I mean, when there's, what?
People are frustrated, man. This government, our government
not
has
just
us in
our government.
Well, no. I'm saying our governments.
How about world conditions?
Yeah, our governments. They have us in the bubble. Our government has us in the bubble. Our governments. I'm saying our government because we know what's going on here. They know exactly what's going on. They know gun laws or the gun law thing is out of control. They know people are using these automatic weapons to kill people. What have they done? What have they? Nothing, because they don't care because they're making money off of it.
They started an investigation on Hunter's laptop.
All they want to do is talk about it. I'm gonna tell you, corporate America, the government is the biggest corporate America. The governments are the biggest corporates in every country, and all that they love to talk about stuff, no actions.
Yeah,
your local government, your neighborhoods, and those are the ones that make the things happen, and then they're still attached to the local government, the federal government. I'm like, if you start being a vigilante and start going around doing crap, then you're going to get arrested, get 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, or you're going to get life in prison. But I'm like, what are y'all doing to prevent all this from happening?
Speaking of that, did you see that kid got sentenced today to life without parole?
What did he do?
He was gosh darn it, where he walked into the mass shooting of the black. Huh?
There's been so many damn shootings.
So many damn shootings, but anyhow, yeah, they did. The family went off. They wanted to beat his ass. They rushed him out of the courtroom real quick. But, and he basically admitted, it was just basically a hate crime. He walked in and he shot all these people up. Oh, that was at that supermarket. Remember, he went into the supermarket and shot those people up?
Yeah, it's a while back, was it?
It's been a while, yeah.
I'm like, it's always something attached to
he had traveled like some ridiculous 200 miles or some bullshit because he knew it was a black neighborhood, yeah.
Oh, yes, I remember that crap. I remember him. I mean, I'm telling you, I'm speechless. I'm trying not to be desensitized about the whole situation because there's so many shootings. But then again, every time we bring it up, it always circles right back to this number one thing that we talk about. Who's going to do something? Talk is cheap. At the end of the day, who's going to do it? Who's in control of the guns coming in and moving out? Who's in control of the sales and letting them be sold or whatever? Who's in control of the retailers that let them retailers sell it? The government is. Local governments, federal government, no one's doing anything because they're getting paid off of it.
Do you think sometimes people need to be rather a little bit more proactive when you've got a family member that's, he's a loose cannon and he's got this particular type of weapon and maybe you should drop a dime on him anonymously saying,
Okay, I ain't no snitch. Okay, but when you have something where innocent people are dying, you should say something. We didn't have
a family member. Let's say that this particular guy.
Yeah, you should.
That was going to, I had to go to the MSU to shoot all these kids because I got screwed over at this concert. I paid for front row seats and they moved me out these young kids. Blah, 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 right?
If that person told someone else that.
No, he's talking to you. Yep.
If there's someone came to me and said they're going to do some shit like that, with what's going on and they had the gun, I'd probably fuck them up and call the police. I would not let them leave the premises. Because not only would they kill, they might go kill someone white, they might go kill somebody black, they might kill somebody Asian, they might go kill a kid, they might kill a mother, they might kill a college student, a kid, they might kill an innocent person. If you got a problem with somebody, you need to handle that with that person. All these other people don't have anything to do with it. Okay, that's the killer part. I'm like, if you got an issue with something or somebody, why be passive aggressive? Just go shoot a whole group of people that have nothing to do with it, then deal with the person that you need to deal with itself. That's called being a coward, being a punk. That's what I call it. And there's always guys doing this crap.
So you think there's always a motivation in there somewhere?
Yeah, and then look at in the neighborhood too. In the black neighborhood, the culture, a lot of black dudes kill each other all the time. Young men, they killing each other constantly. They don't put on the news every day, but they killing each other fucking constantly. Just because they don't want to fight, or just because they have a problem and they don't want to fist fight it out, and it's easy just to shoot them. That happens all the time. So, and it's just these mass shootings get more airplay than the guys in the neighborhood. And then when we did have people that stood up against that, they assassinated them. The Kings and all those other guys we had that everybody celebrate every Black History Month. They soon to forget they get assassinated by the government and by their own people. So, go figure. Losing battle, Tim. I'm just trying to stay sane and not say, oh, okay, it's just another shooting. Who cares? Because it's not like that. But then we have so many of them. I'm starting to get like, oh, shit, another one.
That's not what it seems like, though. When you turn on the TV at night, you know?
Another one.
It's
and
like,
this is
now where's this one at? Now, really?
This is my this is where my racism comes in. I'm not saying I'm racist, but my racism comes. I'm like, man, I hold it in the brother. I would think, Asian. What the fuck is he doing?
But apparently, there's one girl who was. They talked to one girl who was in the building where the man was not in the classroom. She may have been in the classroom, but anyhow, she was also a student at Warren Elementary, where they had a shooting some years back. So it was like the second time she'd been involved in a school.
What was the nationality of the guy that did the shooting at Michigan?
I think I'm not sure if he was Black or Hispanic.
Shit, I'm just he
was like, not white. I know that.
Okay, I'm so desensitized to it. I'm more concerned about. I'm going to find out what their nationality is, which is I shouldn't do that. But I'm like, oh, is it a brother or this? I'm more concerned about that, and that's how bad we have so many of them. Now, when they had the 9/11 joint, I see they were wrong for doing what they did, but I see why they did it. Now, all this other crap we got going on, what's the purpose? What's the connection? Which is wrong, period. It's wrong, period. I'm like, it's sad for me to say that, but I'm like, I want to know what color the person was that did it. What was the ethnicity? And that's bad for me to say that because I should be more concerned about who was affected.
Yeah, the victims, and why he targeted the victims.
Yeah, but we have so many of them. I'm like, well, there go another one. Were they Black? Who did? That's how bad it is. And it's sad on my behalf. I should be more compassionate. And it's too many shootings, man. I'm like,
well, I mean, from what? How old was that kid? Was he a third grader? First grader, whatever the case was?
That did the killing?
No, that shot his teacher.
See, that's another thing. I'm like,
got kids in from the, yeah.
I
don't know what the necessary answer is, but I think, besides just ignoring it and thinking about, was there a big steal back in the previous election or who had what when who did? Let's work on what our problems currently are.
They got to do something about semi-automatic weapons. That's the first thing they should address. And even Biden, all the talking he does, I'm like, come on, bro. Come on. These mass shootings, anybody can use a gun to shoot somebody. That's a cowardly move, man. Cowardly move, and there's too many of them. Man, we're getting used to it. I'm used to it. It's a damn shame.
I ain't hip. Anyhow, Ohio train derailment. That happened down in southeast Ohio.
It's been a long time since we had one of those.
And apparently it, what they found or what they theorize is that one of the cars, the axles seized up because they have a picture of like a little flaming axle.
Right.
All right. So it looks like the axle seized up, started a fire, probably then locked up, caused the train to derail. There was like a 6-8 cars on the particular train that had toxic chemicals, and that's what spilled and or burned into the rivers, and then went up into the environment. And they're saying that it made some people sick. The other part of it is the toxins, and it's a chemical that they use to make PVC. I can't think of what in particular, but it's utilized in to make PVC and some other products. But anyhow, apparently it's highly toxic, and and so it's got to be leaching into the water system, both the river and people's wells.
So what about the EPA? Are they?
They're coming on. They're supposed to be down there tomorrow to assess a lot of the people's drinking water.
When did it happen?
Well, what was that, Friday?
Tomorrow? What kind of EPA they have? They should be there the same day, man. I worked with
they are economically feasible, and they ride mules.
Okay, Tim. Let me brief history. When I first got the military, I worked for a company called Boots and Coots, where we rode around. We clean up chemical spills. And you have a certain amount of time to get to that spill before it really does some real damage. For example, if something spills in the soil, you have to dig. It's been 20 years, but you got to dig almost 6 feet deep to get the contaminated soil out if it happened then. You see what I'm saying?
Because it's got the way it leaches down.
Because it leaches going to the soil. You have to dig 3 feet further past where it did just to make sure you get all the soil out. And if it happened Friday and they're just not getting over there now, you're going to have that soil is damaged, period.
Yeah, I don't know what type of containment they did.
I'm like, if it's in the water, you got to use boom, and you put the boom in the water to surround it, because chemicals usually stay on top of the water. They don't really drop.
Right.
So
they usually float. Right.
Float. So you can get control of the chemicals. You can consolidate into an area, and then you can actually save a lot of the fish and wildlife around it too. But you got to get to it quickly. But that's not enough time, Tim. That's something that the local government and our government should be on quick if they cared about the people.
Oh, I know the people are in outrage, and especially the people that live next to the area. And logically, I'm sure that it was put on the TV that they should evacuate because there's a chance, blah, 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 but not knowing, exactly what they're dealing with. Here's another interesting thing is what's the relevance to it, I don't know, is because of the limited amount of cars that were actually transporting toxic material, it wasn't designated as a hazardous train.
No, hazard is a hazard. That's stupid. It's just like if you got a fuel truck that you did, like say you dump all your fuel at your fuel truck, it still has the fumes in it. Like say you go to the gas station, the fuel truck dumps out the fuel after the gas station, it still has the fumes in it, and it still has some sort of liquid in it. Even though it's not full, you don't take off your flammable sign because that truck can still crash and catch fire and burn. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Whether it's full of fuel or just has a little fuel, it still has fuel content inside that could be flammable. So that's stupid to say that. Whether it's one car whether you got 500 gallons of fuel that's still contaminated, it's still flammable, it's still dangerous.
I thought the same thing I'm
that's
like,
just plain stupid.
How do you do the frickin' math? To where and I guess if there is some type of let's say that there's a extra fee if we're hauling, a hazardous train. Well, let's just add a couple extra cars rather, so that we can, offset the percentage, and now we can avoid all that.
Yeah, and then that's what local governments and all these rules they need to change to eliminate that kind of stupidness. That's just plain stupid. Stupidity.
I mean, there obviously the rail company is liable for all this. There's no doubt. Come on.
Yeah, and plus, think about it, Tim. You're gonna make all that money anyway with those chemicals. You're gonna make your money back and then some. You're gonna
transport and all that stuff and whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, and then like we had the railroad discussion, laying people off, not paying them. That's why. If you was paying those railroad guys, that never would have happened. That thing never would have locked up. It was some guy probably at work, tired from working 12 hours, getting paid his little check, and said, "Ain't all in that damn wheel on that train. If it lock up, it lock the fuck up, and it's gonna crash." That's probably what he said.
Mm. Yeah, remember that movie Runaway Train? Where the train was going down the tracks, it was getting ready to go in. They wanted to stop it before it goes around this big curve and just crashes.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, that's kind of a stretch of a story, but that really happened up in Toledo here at Northwood at the rail yards. And the guy just kind of, for whatever frickin' reason, wasn't paying attention, and it went out of the yards and started heading southbound into our county. And that's when I was with had the 911. I was director. So we took it was our 911 center that was processing all this stuff when all this transpired. And it was interesting, though, to sit there and see a lot of how they really did a helicopter drop of a engineer onto it, because it was going down into a part of the track that would curve severely as it went out of our county and down in towards Findlay, Ohio. But so, I mean, I understood why they did what they did. But yeah, the movie, it was kind of funny. But what was interesting is one time is one of the police agencies, and I won't tell you who it was. One of their officers. One of their officers.
You gonna snitch on them?
One of their officers thought it would be a good idea as the train was going by that there's this little button on the side of the engine. Apparently, you could push in an emergency, right, to try to stop it. So he thought maybe he could shoot it. So as it was going past, he took a shot. Pow!
And then what happened, Tim?
I don't know what. I know he got in a lot of trouble for discharging his weapon like that. I mean,
man, stupid. Hey,
I
man,
mean, what do you, Tiger Eye? I mean, how good do you think you are?
You know what? I'm gonna stop calling people.
What?
Hey, Tim, I'm gonna stop calling people stupid and start saying they make some very, very bad decisions. Let's say
that was just a poor decision, right?
Very poor, because I made some
that whole situation was kind of interesting, but and it was basically neglect again on the part of the rail company.
Hey,
Now, how do you let that happen? Isn't there like a brake that should be in place, right? So that when the engineer gets off, the train's just not rolling, and then I'll catch back up with it in a second. I mean, is that common practice?
Man, well, people do like their keys in their car. It could have been one of those things. I got out my van the other day and left both my phones in it, and then somehow I hit the lock and left it running, and it had locked on me. So I'm sitting there with a locked van still running with my keys inside and both my phones. I couldn't call nobody to do anything. That's why I say you shouldn't call nobody stupid, because I made a bad decision by not paying attention, but I was smart enough to get it open. I figured it out.
Nothing that a rock and the police report won't do.
I know, right? I figured it out.
I don't know, officer. I came back home.
I had to bust the window out. I was like, hell. I figured it out, man.
Anyhow.
I'm just saying, people, it happens sometimes, Tim. I'm like, it's just that you don't want to just like make bad decisions with the chemicals in it. I'm like, either way it goes, we live in a world where shit's gonna happen.
You know, you need to get. That's when AAA really comes in handy. You know.
Yeah, that's why they got insurance. That's why they have police officers, fire departments.
You know, it's only $50 a year, folks, and boy, can that $50 save you a lot of money, especially if you have to break a window or some shit to get in your car.
Or if if you're at the gas station at 7-Eleven, you know some crackheads, they're gonna have some clothes hangers ready.
Oh yeah, they got your back, no problemo. Anyhow, hey, what we was gonna move on to is, along with this derailment, a reporter was arrested in Ohio. Right?
Oh, y'all are kicking it.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I wanted to make the news. I can't let Texas just hog it all the time. I mean, you know,
we got a bunch of we can hog it. Us in Miami.
But in any regard, this reporter was down at a briefing by Governor Mike DeWine, Ohio's governor, about the train derailment. And apparently they wanted him to be quiet because he was like, you know, in the background, Mike DeWine is talking and telling us what's going on. And they didn't appreciate it, so they asked him to leave. And when he left, they arrested him for like
For what?
for disruption of something and disturbing the peace, just bullshit charges. And later he was released, and DeWine, denounced that, the police should have never done that. They went excessive. But there we go again, talking about, what? The police going overboard when people are exercising their freedom of speech.
Well,
does that not happen? How many times must we discuss this one?
We probably gonna disagree on this. Sometimes you need to shut the fuck up. Sometimes when it's time for you to shut up and some serious shit happens, shut up.
He wasn't being loud. And he wasn't being defiant. I wish I could show the video, but the damn videos aren't playing right for us.
Yeah,
but in any regard, no, he was a well-behaved individual. Literally, I watched this, and yet you'll see it on TV. I'm sure there's other news agencies going to cover it because it was kind of BS. Made absolutely no sense whatsoever. I mean, maybe he was talking. Was he over-talking that people couldn't hear the governor who's on a speaker system? He's talking into a microphone. No, for some reason, the overzealous law enforcement agencies.
You know the thing about it, because police officers, they can't arrest you, but charges, they can be dropped. So
there's still freedom of speech. Do they arrest everybody that interrupts conferences all the time?
I've seen some people that should have been arrested that didn't get arrested.
That's not, but isn't it freedom of speech now? Again, let's go back to this. See, we can go right back. Don't I have the right to say what I want to say?
Not in every situation you don't.
As long as it does not incite violence against you.
They ain't arrested Trump. So why, why didn't arrest him?
Arrest him they haven't yet because he had nothing to do with it. You ask him and he'll tell you.
All I'm saying is you don't have the right to say what you want to say when you want to say it. It depends on the situation, depends on when and where, especially police officers. Police officers have a lot of power, and if they want to arrest your ass, they will.
That's not the point.
Taking that chance.
So where do you draw the line on freedom of speech?
I don't think we really have the freedom of speech. I think that only certain people and only certain, outlets have freedom of speech. It's only groups. I'm like, it's different when you just an individual just talking crap. You don't have it because it's just you. But if it's a group of people, you can probably get away with it. Okay, if it's a petition, you can get away with it. But I think if it's just an individual, I'm like, you're on your own. If they want to mess with you, they can. But I ain't seen them arrest a whole group of people.
Okay, so for example, the street corner preacher out there just babbling, on the street corner yelling and people are bypassing me, but he's out there and he's just loud. He's just, how can he's disturbing the peace.
Yeah, but
he should be arrested.
Well, no. But they can arrest him if they want to. I mean, let me tell you, Tim, I've seen police officers stop people.
I'm asking you, where do you draw the line?
You can't draw the line. I think they have a lot of power, and then a dirty cop.
No, I'm talking about where do you draw the line on freedom of speech?
I don't know.
How far can I go before it's too far?
I don't know. It depends on the individual. It depends on the situation. It depends on what group of people you're dealing with. You know what I'm saying? The situation, the individuals, and the group of people you're dealing with. If it's a mayor and he got a bunch of his officer guys there, and it's just you talking crap, you out of there.
I was talking that, I want to create a collective of like-minded people who want to plant roses along the highway.
It depends on the...
Now, that should be okay. Okay, now I'm a person who I don't like the black culture, and I try to, and we're not going to call ourselves skinheads or neo-Nazis, or we're not going to give ourselves a tag like that. But I'm promoting, a discrimination against the ethnicity. Is that okay?
No, it's not okay. But they don't get arrested.
Should they be?
I've seen black groups of people petition, just like white groups, whether the black group was right about what they were saying or whatever. So I've seen both sides do it. But like I say, it's groups and the individuals you're dealing with in the situation. I think maybe it was something deeper than just him just talking trash with the governor. He's by himself.
He wasn't talking trash at the governor. He was
no. I mean,
covering the press conference about the train derailment.
Yeah, I'm just saying he's probably just being a dick, and somebody was like, "Man, I'm tired of this guy."
Could be.
But if all of them were doing it, I don't think he would have got arrested. But it was just him, and he was. That's why I say it depends on the individual. It depends on the group. It depends on the individual in the group. You do better by getting away with that freedom of speech if you with a group of people, whether you're saying the right thing or the wrong thing. If you're by yourself and you're being a dick or being whatever you're being, you're probably gonna get jammed up. So it wasn't right. But then again, that freedom of speech, our rights, our constitutional rights, have been infringed upon constantly. Whether it could be black, whether you're white, whether you're Asian, whether it's unconstitutional, constitutional, whether we have anything small that we hold tight, dear to ourselves as in the Constitution, all those rights have been infringed upon. They will be, because we got the wrong people in power, and they know they can get away with it, and they know that they had to go through the courts and the system, and people ain't gonna have time. They ain't got time to pay the money. They got to go to work. So those people that are in charge, you're gonna get away with, Tim. They always get infringing on our rights, man.
I'm telling you.
I'm just saying, man. Constitution. Yeah, it's a ripoff. We look at Facebook did us. We had some stuff on hate book kicked us off of Facebook for we saying crap.
Give me liberty.
Yeah, they kicked us off hate book. They got kicked off. They kick us off, but then they took the show off. I'm like, just because we talking crap. Like,
yeah, well, man. You know, when you smack talk, you know, depending on who you offend the wrong person occasionally. That's what
I'm like, because he was wrong and they were wrong because he did something for them to arrest him. So. Was he a black dude?
No.
Was he a brother? Okay, so he had to be messing up then.
He's a cracker.
Yeah, I'm like, when they were arresting white people at press conferences,
they're arresting white people now.
He would be a dick. So I'm just saying he had to be.
It is what it is, folks. You know, that's all I can say.
Yeah, it's funny, man.
Anyhow, geez, I don't know. Hey, we can sit there and see if this.
And people, don't take me literally. I'm just having fun, so don't take me serious.
This may or may not play. See if this works. I hope it does.
I bet they're like, Larry, you're a dick.
I know you're. Anyway, let's see if we can do this with our asshole. Let's see if we. No, wait a minute. That sounded horrible. Wait a minute. Let's not do it like that. See if we can make this work. But our asshole award, and see if we can get this video to play.
But I hope it's not me. Don't you put my picture up there, Tim?
Not you this time.
Okay, this week.
It's just not accurate. I mean, it's just not true.
It's public knowledge. I mean, everyone knew within the athletic department that Doc was a serial groper at best.
I did know Dr. Strauss. He was, he was there when we got to Ohio State, and was continuing to work at Ohio State once I left.
Do you believe he knew about this while he was there?
I know Jim knew about what I call the deviant sexual atmosphere that we were exposed to.
How do you know?
Well, we all had conversations. Jim was more like a big brother than a coach.
Where are these guys coming from?
Conversations in a locker room are a lot different than allegations of abuse or reported abuse to us. No one ever reported any abuse to me. If they had, I would have dealt with it. The timing is suspect from when you think about how this whole story came together after the Rosenstein interview or hearing with this whole talk about the speaker's race.
Serial groper.
Yeah. So apparently, yeah, this physician, for the
He was a physician?
you played, yeah, you played
Team.
college athletics. You had a team physician, right? That attended to your injuries. And now suppose he's working on your thigh and all of a sudden he's groping your nuts,
Listen, I'm a serial groper. Listen, I didn't have the doctor hold my balls and say cough. I'm like, bro, I'm here because I'm getting my ears cleaned out. Why you holding my damn balls?
No, but I mean to the point that, here's Jordan. He's just one, and you've seen him on TV all the time. He's the one that's calling out, for Biden to resign and that, Trump was screwed over and blah, blah. But yet he's in denial that because it was, how did he put it, locker room talk and nobody officially brought charges?
He made it. Okay, see, now he's just incriminating
See how he
himself.
said that?
Like,
Did you catch that comment?
He incriminated himself. That was plain stupid.
I heard that comment. I'm like, that's why I have to give you the award, Jimmy.
I'm just glad you didn't pull me up, because I've been talking shit all this show this week, and I'm pretty sure people, I'm just joking. Don't take me literally.
To make that comment, well, and they're, and the other coaches, wrestlers, well, yeah, we talk about it. It's like,
broke them balls. I'm like this, man.
And he's like, well, yeah, to put it into that paradigm that, that was locker room talk. So, yeah, I had heard the rumor that he liked to do that, but nobody ever officially came to me. So I have plausible deniability that it ever really happened.
This is how I look at it. I look at it as a regular guy standpoint. Okay, I'm an athlete. I'm in college, and I'm not in junior high, nothing like that. My mind is somewhat more developed than it is when I'm a kid. If I'm going to get my ankles wrapped, and this guy has my balls in his hand, the first person he should have did that to should have got his ass. The first person that he did it, that guy should have knocked his ass out and got reported. I'm like, why you grab my balls when I just need my knee looked at? What's up with that? And then if he did another one, it should have been somebody being more proactive. Let's keep moving forward. Then another one, nobody said nothing. Same thing with these guns. Come on, man.
But wait a minute. Let's go back to these training guys. Now, isn't that the same thing that the females off of the gymnastics teams complained about? They said we went to the people that owned the facility and made comment. And they're just kind of,
this is,
you need to take, when somebody makes a complaint like that, and you've got an issue, kind of like you've got the uncle that is getting ready to go off.
Yeah,
do something about it. Do something about it. Don't just sit back and wait.
Well, you know what? And I couldn't have been that guy.
Or lie about it.
Yeah, I couldn't have been that guy. The asshole. The guy, I'm like, hold on, man. For one thing, you asking me about some allegations, something about somebody else did. I said, I didn't grab nobody's balls. So why are you asking me about it? Go ask the guy that grabbed the other boy balls. Why don't you talk to those coaches that allowed all those boys' balls to be grabbed? Why are you asking me? I'm like, I went in the locker room when he grabbed somebody's balls, and I was standing there and said, get your hands off his balls. I'm like, come on, man.
I think part of how he got drug into it, or how you would have gotten drug into it, is because you were the assistant coach of the Ohio State wrestling team at the time that he was the physician attending to the team, to the wrestlers, and they said something to you, but you didn't do anything because it was only the locker room talk, not an official complaint.
Okay, and if I was assistant coach, and God told me, I said, for one thing, what you need to do, if he grabbed your balls and it wasn't right, you should have punched him in his fucking mouth. All right? And if he grabbed your balls and wasn't right, are you filing a formal complaint right now? If you are, let's file it. Let's get him out of here and get a new one in. Okay, so, and plus, why would you, the winners I know, they don't want to be associated with crap like that, with losers like that, or fondling grown men balls and being sexually abusive towards these men. So that, if he's already, is he a senator now?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm like, how could
from Ohio? I'm telling you, we did the triple play tonight, brother.
Yeah, y'all got us.
You missed that, didn't you? You notice how I I did that?
Y'all got us Texas boys in the back of that U-Haul looking real good right now. All I'm saying is, if you're a college student, if anybody's watching somebody, if you're a college student, young man or grown man, if the guy does it, I really think it's just a responsibility of that individual to do something, be proactive. That got us fumbled or whatever he did. And if nothing does happen, he should leave that establishment, that school, and then to file other charges. That's the best thing to do instead of just staying there and then letting other guys get grabbed on. And you just basically saying I'm cool with it.
Yeah, that's how you're condoning it. If you don't do anything about it, that's a very good point. If you don't do anything about it, then you condone it.
I'm like, it should have stopped.
And that's in everything that we've talked about tonight. Speaking of doing something about it, Larry, it is time to get on to, let me get Larry's cam up. Bam, the Larry cam tip of the week.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, man? Y'all can check me out on Facebook at LRE Fitness Solutions. We keep you moving. Also on Facebook, you can check me out at Estelle Jr. Larry, which is my personal Facebook page, and I'll be doing all kinds of stuff like comedy and training and going out, and I do all kinds of stuff like that. And also catch me on Instagram, LRE Fitness Solutions. We keep you moving, and Estelle Jr. Larry. So you got to catch me now because sooner or later, Elon Musk is going to get a hold and destroy that too. This is my tip for the week. People, whether you're training, know what training you're doing to pick the right gym you want to train in. Okay, certain gyms have certain types of training. Like Planet Fitness, for example, they don't have a lot of heavy weights, there's a lot of machine weights, and it's pretty inexpensive to go there and work out and train. And they have personal trainers that train you for free. So if you're a beginner, that's where it's a good spot to go. They're not paying me to say this, but it's just a gym I've been to. That's a good gym to go. Now you have the larger gyms with a lot more amenities in there, like Lifetime Fitnesses and stuff like that, and LA Fitness. Now, if you're not into all of that, you don't want to pay that much money, find you a small gym in your neighborhood, in your area, and get you a low fee. Pay your monthly dues. Make sure it's not a lot, and start small, and then build your way up. So do not overtrain. How can I say overcompensate gym wise? Start small, train small, and build up to bigger, better gyms and more extensive training. So that's my tip for the week. Save your money and don't try to do it too big at the beginning.
Damn. All righty then. Okay. I'm going to keep mine simple. I just came up with a couple of different quotes, actually.
He said keep it simple.
Seriously, came up a couple different quotes about, especially when I was thinking about tonight's topics and, especially with, artificial intelligence and disseminating information and people, watching the news and who's saying what on what particular channel. Anyhow, a couple of quotes. Withholding information is the essence of tyranny. Control of the flow of information is the tool of a dictatorship. And here's a quote from the number one president, Mr. Washington. So this is from a long time ago, but it still applies today. If freedom of speech is taken away, then dumb and silent may be led like sheep to the slaughter.
So, not a sheep.
Don't be a sheep. That's all I can say.
Go to another planet then.
Hey, brother. Anyhow, hey, that was a great show. I appreciated the
I
great
did too
dialogue. I appreciate opposing you on different viewpoints, but that's all right. You're from Texas, and I understand.
Well, y'all did well this week. Thank God Ohio for taking some pressure off Texas, because we've been messing up for all last year.
Excuse me.
Great job, Ohio. Y'all look like crap this week. Thank you.
3, baby. 3. Anyhow, hey, let's get the hell out of here because I am ready to go and probably get something to smash. I'm a bit hungry. So,
yeah,
hey,
me too. I was thinking the same thing.
You heard that? Until next week, man, Larry and I am so out of here. Hey, peace, guys.